What happens when a Hollywood sweetheart meets daytime television's most controversial host and everything goes off the rails, ending in a shocking walk-off no one expected? You're about to witness one of the most explosive moments ever captured on live television. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment below, because this story will leave you completely stunned. The morning began like any other at the View Studios in New York City. Sandra Bullock arrived early for what was meant to be a friendly, upbeat promotional interview for her latest movie. She sat calmly in the green room, sipping coffee and going over her talking points with her publicist, totally unaware that she was about to become part of daytime TV history. "Sandra, we're so happy to have you here," Whoopi Goldberg said as the cameras went live. "Your new movie sounds amazing. Tell us all about it." Sandra smiled easily, her familiar warmth instantly filling the room. "Thank you for having me, Whoopi. This film really means a lot to me. It's about second chances, about how people can reinvent themselves even when life throws the hardest surprises at them." "That sounds lovely," Sarah Haynes added. "What made you want to tell this story?" "Well," Sandra said thoughtfully, "I think we all reach moments where we feel like we've hit rock bottom. This character reminded me that it's never too late to change direction, to choose kindness over bitterness, and to build bridges instead of burning them." The conversation flowed smoothly. The audience leaned in, clearly drawn to Sandra's honesty and calm presence. But Joy Behar had been unusually quiet. She watched Sandra closely, her expression tight, her eyes narrowing slightly. Something about Sandra's words seemed to irritate her, though no one could quite tell why. "Speaking of building bridges," Joy finally cut in, her tone sharp enough to make everyone at the table stiffen. "I have to ask about some comments you've made about the entertainment industry. Some people might say you sound a bit naive about how Hollywood really works." Sandra's smile slipped for just a second, surprised by the sudden change in direction. "I'm not sure what you mean, Joy. Could you explain?" "Oh, come on," Joy said, leaning forward with a smirk that didn't quite reach her eyes. "This whole idea that everyone can change. It's very sweet, very hopeful. But don't you think some people are just selfish at their core? Some people never change because they simply don't want to." The studio fell into an uneasy silence. Whoopi shifted in her seat, sensing that this was drifting far away from a movie interview. The audience felt it too. The warmth from earlier had been replaced by a heavy, uncomfortable tension. "I believe people are capable of growth," Sandra replied carefully, keeping her voice steady. "When people are given the chance to reflect and learn, I think most of them choose to do better." "Most," Joy repeated with a dry laugh. "But not all. Some people double down on their worst behavior. They hide behind success and play the victim when they're actually the ones causing harm." Now everyone at the table was watching Joy with concern. This was no longer normal debate, even for a show known for heated opinions. Something personal was driving this, and Sandra was clearly trying to understand what she had walked into. "Joy," Whoopi said gently, trying to step in, "maybe we should get back to talking about Sandra's film." "No," Joy interrupted. "This matters. Sandra talks about second chances, but what about accountability? What about the people who get hurt while someone is busy finding themselves?" Sandra's publicist waved urgently from offstage, but Sandra stayed calm. "I absolutely believe in accountability," she said firmly. "But I also believe that holding on to anger ends up hurting us more than anyone else. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing bad behavior. It means not letting it control who we become." "How convenient," Joy snapped. "That's easy to say when you're sitting there with your perfect career and your perfect life. Some of us live with the consequences of other people's choices." The tension was now thick enough to feel. Camera operators hesitated, unsure whether to keep rolling. The audience sat frozen, watching what felt like a deeply personal argument unfold in real time. "Joy, I honestly don't know what this is about," Sandra said, her voice calm but firm. "But if you have a real issue, this probably isn't the place to handle it." "I came here in good faith." "Good faith?" Joy repeated mockingly. "Let's talk about good faith. Let's talk about how people in this industry smile to your face while stabbing you in the back. Let's talk about how careers are built by stepping on others, then preaching kindness afterward. The other hosts exchanged nervous looks. Joy was airing something raw and unresolved, and Sandra had become the target. Taking a slow breath, Sandra replied, "Joy, I came here to talk about my work and connect with viewers. Whatever you're dealing with personally, this isn't the right way to address it." "Personal?" Joy scoffed. "You want personal? Let's talk about your so-called humanitarian work. Let's talk about how charity becomes a photo op while some of us are actually trying to make a difference." The accusation hung in the air. Alyssa Farah Griffin stared in disbelief, and Sunny Hostin's mouth fell open. "That's completely out of line," Sandra said, her composure finally cracking. "My charity work is very important to me, and I won't let you question my motives without facts." "Without facts?" Joy laughed harshly. "I've been around this business for decades. I know how it works. You show up at a few galas, write a check, get a tax break, and suddenly you're a saint." Sandra's voice turned cold. "What exactly are you saying, Joy?" "I'm saying people like you think you're better than everyone else," Joy snapped. "You float above the mess while the rest of us fight in the dirt. You talk about forgiveness like you're some kind of guide, but where was that forgiveness when it mattered?" The studio was silent except for the low hum of equipment. No one moved. "I honestly don't know what you're talking about," Sandra said slowly. "But you owe me an explanation or an apology." "Apologize?" Joy's voice shot up. "That's exactly the entitlement I mean. You sit at my table on my show and expect me to play along while you sell a feel-good movie. It's not your show," Whoopi said firmly. "And Sandra is our guest. You need to stop." But Joy was past stopping. Years of resentment seemed to pour out all at once. "Don't tell me what to do, Whoopi. I've carried this show for years. I ask the hard questions. I call out hypocrisy." "What hypocrisy?" Sandra demanded. Joy suddenly stood up, her chair rolling back as the audience gasped. "You want clarity? I'm sick of watching people get praised for doing the bare minimum while people like me get attacked for being honest." "Sit down, Joy," Sarah pleaded softly. "No," Joy said, pointing at Sandra. "I'm tired of pretending. Let's talk about how you probably stepped on others to get where you are. Let's talk about how the system rewards a certain look and a fake sweetness." Sandra stood too. "I will not sit here while you tear me down over your own issues. This is unprofessional and embarrassing." "Embarrassing?" Joy sneered. "That's rich coming from someone who built a career playing nice while being something else behind closed doors." Even Joy seemed to realize she had crossed a line, but she didn't stop. "The real problem is that people like you coast through life while people like me get called difficult for telling the truth." "Nobody is questioning your career," Whoopi tried again. "Yes, they are," Joy shouted, turning to the table. "Every article, every comment. I'm always too much." "Well, maybe this fake, polished TV world can't handle real honesty." Sandra watched with concern. "Joy, this feels like something much deeper than today." "Don't analyze me," Joy snapped. "You don't know what it's like to fight for every chance." "Actually, I do," Sandra said quietly. "Every woman here does. But attacking other women doesn't fix the system." For a moment, Joy hesitated, then her anger returned stronger. "You think you're wise because you stayed popular." "Sometimes staying relevant means being the villain." "And sometimes," Sandra replied calmly, "it means being cruel to people who don't deserve it." That was it. Joy ripped off her mic pack. "I'm done. I quit. I'm done pretending and being lectured by someone whose biggest worry is which gala to attend." Chaos broke out. Producers panicked. The audience buzzed. "I quit," Joy repeated. "I'm done being the bad guy while everyone else plays safe." "Joy, please," Sunny said. "Sit down." "This isn't a moment," Joy said bitterly. "This is years of frustration." Sandra stood tall. "I hope you get the help you need, Joy." But this wasn't honesty. It was an attack. Joy stared, then stormed off the set, leaving silence behind. Sandra sat down slowly. "I'm sorry your audience had to see that," she said softly. Whoopi nodded. I'm sorry too. You handled that with grace. The cameras cut to commercial, ending one of the most shocking moments in daytime TV history. Joy Behar had walked off The View, leaving viewers stunned. What do you think really caused Joy's breakdown? Was she completely wrong? Or was there something deeper behind her anger? Subscribe for more shocking moments and share your thoughts below.